Hello, viewers, and welcome to everyone's favorite killing game, Danganronpa. It is I, your normal host, Monokuma, the Bear for Despair. Today, we have gathered 48 people from many different areas, trying to survive our little game. Sadly, and I do say this with a big heart, I can't narrate for this episode. So, here's a guy. Oh, are you all bummed out? Ha! Well, you know what they say. You can't have a little life without something going despairful. So anyway, for today, we have some guy we found on the street named, hold on. The Nintendo Kid. We picked him up, and he is going to do a fantastic job. So, this has been Monokuma. Make sure to eat your despair, and I'll see you next time.
Hello and welcome, everyone. And today, instead of I can't talk. Instead of doing a Hunger Games simulator, we will be doing a Danganronpa simulator. For those of you who don't know, Danganronpa is a game where a bunch of students are trapped in a school, and to graduate, you gotta kill someone and get away with it. Someone will be found dead, they go to trial, they have to vote who they think is the killer. If they vote the killer right, the killer is executed. If they vote wrong, everyone but the killer is executed, and the killer wins. But as a result of that, and due to the fact that I don't want this to be short, I have set it to where the killer will always be found. But anyways, let us meet our 48 characters. List in alphabetical order. We have a receipt from Walgreens, a tomato, the Jojo Rabbit version of Adolf Hitler, Bolo from Shantae, Buff Noob, Clone High Gandhi, Cody Emmett Anderson, Danny Gonzalez, David Bird, otherwise known as Lil Dicky, Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz, Hajiro Kirishima, Flo from Progressive, Freddie Jones, Gintoki, I have no idea who this character is, one of my friends suggested it, Giovanni, Granny with a gun, Gumball Watterson, Joey the psychotic kangaroo, Josuke Higashikata, I hope I got that right, Jotaro Kujo, Karen Plankton, Katsuke Bakugo. Oh no, I used this picture because this is supposed to be like a mouse pad of Bakugo, but I just looked at him and just like, it looks like he has boobs. Killer from One Piece. I've never watched One Piece. I looked up a picture of this dude. First picture, he looked like this. Second picture, he was ripped. So that's quite the inspiring story. We got Magalore, Mama Luigi, Mephone 4, Nazir Pittman, Nega Scott, Nia, Norville Rogers, Phony Bone, Red, Rayla, Scott, Skips, Solid Snake, Swedish Chef, the Deke logo, the entire 1989 Denver Broncos, the entire cast of Glee, Nintendo Kid, the Wu-Tang Clan, the Yodeling Kid, Theo from Celeste, Thomas Ridgewell from Edgeworld, Vexing Flame looking quite snazzy if I do say so myself, Walmart, and Wario. Now that we have all the people who are about to be dying, let's see who will not be dead by the end of the day. I hope Hitler is dead by the end of the day. A body is found. It's Kirishima. Another body is found. It's Joey. Cue the Danganronpa death music. How does it go? For some of these, I'm gonna try and show like a picture to go along with it. For Joey, I can. I was like, not for Joey. A body is found. Just shows insert Nintendo Kids Storybook 2 spoiler. An investigation begins to discover clues about the killer. Class trial. These guys all go to. Oh no, Skip's good. There he is. Anyways, following the investigation, the survivors vote for the suspect. Walgreens receipt votes for Doofenshmirtz. Tomato votes for Giovanni. Imaginary Hitler votes for Walgreens receipt. Bolo votes for Karen. Buff Noob votes for Nia. Clone High Gandhi votes for Danny. Cody votes for Negascott. Danny votes for Granny with a gun. Lil Dicky votes for Tomato. Has anyone voted the same person twice? Doofenshmirtz votes the Wu-Tang Clan. Flo votes for Walgreens receipt. Fred votes for Bakugo. Gintoki votes for Josuke. Giovanni votes for Negascott. Granny with a gun votes for Bakugo. Gumball votes for Red. Josuke votes for the Swedish Chef. Jotaro votes for Karen. Karen votes for Gintoki. Bakugo votes for Skips. Killer votes for Nia. This is gonna go on for a while, guys. Just bear with me. Magalore votes for Tom. I'm stopping with the voice, by the way. Mama Luigi votes for the yodeling kid. MePhone 4 votes for Tom. Nazir votes for Wario. Negascott votes for Clone High Gandhi. Nia votes for Doofenshmirtz. Shaggy votes for Rayla. Funimon votes for Bakugo. Red votes for Josuke. Rayla votes for Cody. Scott votes for Karen. Skips votes for the entire cast of Glee. They all did it too. Snake votes for Karen. Swedish Chef votes for Nazir. The Deke logo votes for Vexing Flame. The 1989 Broncos vote for Clone High Gandhi. The cast of Glee votes for Mama Luigi. I vote for Josuke. There's something I don't trust about him. The Wu-Tang Clan votes for the Swedish Chef. Yodeling Kid votes for Danny Gonzalez. Theo votes for Wario. Tom votes for Rayla. Vexing Flame votes for the Swedish Chef. Walmart votes for Imaginary Hitler. And Wario votes for Bolo. So as a result, it looks like Karen has received the most votes. Karen has been executed. Cue execution for Karen. I don't know, put up a video of some guy destroying a computer. Anyways, Chapter 2. These are the remaining people. I'm not reading out the entire list. Look at it yourself. A body was found. It's the Swedish Chef. Another body was found. It's Gumball. An investigation begins to discover clues about the killer. The glass trial. Okay. Walgreens receipt votes for Giovanni. Tomato votes for Glee. Imaginary Hitler votes for Vexing Flame. Bolo votes for Skips. Buff Noob votes for Granny with a gun. Clone High Gandhi votes for Rayla. Cody votes for Walmart. Danny votes for Phony. Lil Dicky votes for the 1989 Broncos. Doofenshmirtz votes for Walmart. Flo votes for Doofenshmirtz. Fred votes for Tom. Gintoki votes for Shaggy. Giovanni votes for MePhone 4. Granny with a gun votes for Danny Gonzalez. Josuke votes for Fred. Jotaro votes for Gintoki. Bakugo votes for Jotaro. Killer votes for Josuke. And Magalore votes for Walmart. Mom Luigi votes for Glee. MePhone 4 votes for Walmart. Nazir votes Nia. Negascott votes for Mama Luigi. Mama Luigi! Nia votes for Scott. Shaggy votes for Theo. Phony votes for Fred. Red votes for the 1989 Broncos. Rayla votes for Imaginary Hitler. Scott votes for Bolo. Skips votes for Jotaro. Snake votes for Vexing Flame. The Deke logo votes for Fred. The 1989 Broncos vote for Red. Glee votes for the 1989 Broncos. Jacob votes for Gintoki. The Wu-Tang Clan votes for Walgreens receipt. The Yodeling Kid votes for Lil Dicky. Theo votes for Snake. Tom votes for Glee. Vexing Flame votes for a tomato. Walmart votes for Danny. And Wario votes for Josuke. So who did it? Who killed the Swedish chef and... Who else died? I forgot. And Gumball. Walmart has been voted guilty. Walmart has been executed. Their execution was I don't know, they were told that Target's better. Chapter 3. The remaining players. I don't know why I made the wind sound with my mouth. Proceed. A body is found. It's Killer. Killer did not kill anyone. Who is the killer that killed Killer? I'm gonna kill them. Okay, time for the trial. Walgreens receipts votes for Glee. Tomato votes for Jacob. Imaginary Hitler votes for Lil Dicky. Bolo votes for Nazir. Buff Noob votes for Imaginary Hitler. Clone High Gandhi votes for Shaggy. Cody votes for Vexing Flame. Danny votes for Giovanni. Lil Dicky votes for Rayla. Doofenshmirtz votes for Tom. Flo votes for Lil Dicky. Fred votes for Red. Gintoki votes for the Deke logo. Giovanni votes for Nega Scott. Granny with a gun votes for Mama Luigi. Josuke votes for Nega Scott. Jotaro votes for Snake. Bakugo votes for the 1989 Broncos. Magalore votes for Phony. Mama Luigi votes for Rayla. MePhone 4 votes for a tomato. Nazir votes for Skips. Nega Scott votes for Doofenshmirtz. Nia votes for Magalore. Shaggy votes for MePhone 4. Phony votes for Bakugo. Red votes for Glee. Raylo votes for Glee. Scott votes for the Deke logo. Skips votes for Granny with a gun. How has she not killed anyone yet? The Deke logo votes for Gintoki. Snake votes for Clone Gandhi. 1989 Broncos vote for Red. Glee for Doofenshmirtz. Jacob votes for 1989 Broncos. The Wu-Tang Clan votes for Scott. The Yodeling Kid votes for Red. Theo votes for Clone High Gandhi. Tom votes for Lil Dicky. Vexing Flame votes for Fred. And Wario votes for Nazir. There's a tie between Lil Dicky, Red, and the cast of Glee. Lil Dicky was selected. I can't believe Lil Dicky killed Killer from One Piece. How could you do that? Lil Dicky. You made that song about the Earth, the one that had Kanye West.
And I'm Kanye West.
Chapter 5. A body is found. It's Shaggy. Another body is found. It's Danny. An investigation begins to discover clues about the killer. The class trial has begun. If Hitler survives this, I swear to God. I literally did this because I hope Hitler, Bakugo, and where is that? Hey, Red die. Walgreens receipts votes for Phony. Tomato votes for Red. Hitler votes Fred. Bolo votes Fred. Buff Noob votes Red. Clone Gandhi votes for Cody. Cody votes for Imaginary Hitler. Doofenshmirtz votes for the Broncos. Flo votes for Bakugo. Fred votes for Buff Noob. Gintoki votes for Cody. Giovanni votes for Doofenshmirtz. Granny with a gun votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Josuke votes for Jotaro. Jotaro votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Bakugo votes for Magalore. Magalore votes for Nazir. Mama Luigi votes for Clone Gandhi. MePhone votes for the Deke logo. Nazir votes for Nia. Nega Scott votes for Vexing Flame. Nia votes for Glee. Phony votes for Theo. Red votes for Nazir. Rayla votes for Bakugo. Scott votes for Snake. Skips votes for Nazir. Snake votes for the 1989 Broncos. Deke votes for Doofenshmirtz. 1989 Broncos vote for Bakugo. Lee votes for Mifune 4. Jacob votes for Vexing Flame. Why? Wu-Tang Clan votes for Clone Gandhi. Yodeling Kid votes for Maglor. Theo votes for for Nazir. Oh no. Tom votes for Granny with a gun. Vexing Flame votes for Wario. Wario votes for 1989 Broncos. I think it's the Broncos who die. Nazir has received the most votes. Oh no! Nazir is dead. Who will talk to me about anime now? Anyways, Chapter 5. A body is found. It's me! Oh no! No! You know what? This is cancelled. I just came. Who's gonna kill me? I'll kill them! Anyways, Walgreens receipt votes for Gintoki. Tomato votes for Jotaro. Hitler votes for Theo. Bolo votes for Giovanni. Buff Noob votes for Negascott. Clone Gandhi votes for Doofenshmirtz. Cody votes for Snake. Doofenshmirtz votes for the Deke logo. Have any of you voted the same person? Flo votes for a tomato. To be fair, I do hate tomatoes. Fred votes for the Broncos. Gintoki votes for Negascott. Giovanni votes for Bakugo. Granny with a gun votes for Yodeling Kid. Josuke votes for Mama Luigi. Totaro votes for Scott. Bakugo votes for Snake. Magalore votes for Cody. Mama Luigi votes for a tomato. Mifune votes for Jotaro. Negascott votes for Flo. Nia votes for Negascott. Phony votes for 1989 Broncos. Red votes for Buff Noob. Rayla votes for Negascott. Scott votes for a tomato. Skips votes for the Deke logo. Snake votes for Gintoki. Deke logo votes for Negascott. 1989 Broncos votes for Josuke. Lee votes for Doofenshmirtz. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Bakugo. Yodeling Kid votes for Theo. Theo votes for Cody. Tom votes for Scott. Vexing Flame votes for Josuke. And Wario votes for Red. Yeah, of course Negascott would kill me. He knows about my intense love of the Scott Pilgrim series. Darn you, Negascott. One of the greatest metaphors of all time. Anyways, Chapter 6. This entire thing sucks now. I'm dead. I guess these guys are still alive. Seriously, if there's like 5 people that are gonna survive, if Hitler and Red survive, I swear to God. Body is found. It's Tom. Okay, let's see the voting. Walgreens votes for Phony. Tomato votes for Doofenshmirtz. Imaginary Hitler votes for Red. Bolo for Phony. Buff Noob votes for Mama Luigi. Clone Gandhi votes for Tomato. Cody votes for Bakugo. Doofenshmirtz votes for Tomato. Flo votes for Doofenshmirtz. Fred votes for Granny with a gun. Gintoki votes for Imaginary Hitler. Giovanni votes for Fred. Granny votes for Snake. Josuke votes for Bolo. Jotaro votes for Magalore. Bakugo votes for Magalore. Magalore votes for Doofenshmirtz. Mama Luigi votes for Cody. Mifune 4 votes for Buff Noob. Nia votes for Josuke. Phony votes for Buff Noob. Red votes for the Deke logo. Rayla votes for Flo. Scott votes for Granny with a gun. Skips votes for the Deke logo. Snake votes for Doofenshmirtz. Is Doofenshmirtz gonna die? The Deke logo votes for Hitler. 1989 Broncos vote for Phony. I'm surprised no one has just decided, let's vote Hitler. Glee votes for Bakugo. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Giovanni. Yodeling Kid votes for Nia. Theo votes for Mifune 4. Vexing Flame votes for Scott. Wario votes for Giovanni. And dying tonight is Doofenshmirtz. Well, that's a darn shame. One of the greatest written cartoon villains of all time. He had such a tragic backstory. You can't blame him for murdering Tom. So tragic. Anyways, how many people are left? 15, 21, 27, 33. Okay. A body is found. It's Vexing Flame. Oh no, someone has dismantled the robot. Oh my god! Time to get investigating on who would murder Vexing Flame. Walgreens receipt votes for Red. Tomato votes for Scott. Imaginary Hitler votes for Bakugo. Bolo votes for Scott. Buff Noob votes for Snake. Clone Gandhi votes for Walgreens receipt. Cody votes for Nia. Flo votes for Rayla. Fred votes for Flo. Gentoki votes for Cody. Giovanni votes for Phony. Granny with the gun votes for Phony. Yosuke votes for Magalore. Jotaro votes for 1989 Broncos. Bakugo votes for Snake. Magalore votes for Glee. Luigi votes for 1989 Broncos. Mephone votes for Buff Noob. Nia votes for Bolo. Phony votes for Flo. Red votes for Snake. Rayla votes for Tomato. Scott votes for Red. Skips and Snake vote for Glee. The Deke logo votes for Jotaro. 1989 Broncos vote for Granny with a Gun. Glee votes for Wario. The Wu-Tang Clan votes for Yodeling Kid. The Yodeling Kid votes for Josuke. Theo votes for Imaginary Hitler. And Wario votes for Josuke. It's a tie between Snake and Glee. Snake has been selected. Well, rip Snake. Who's left? For God's sake. Why is Hitler still here? A body is found. It's Buff Noob. Another is found. It's Flo. Ooh, someone went out of their way to murder Flo. No. What if it's like that? My favorite character from Danganronpa 1, where he was murdered by one guy, and then someone murdered that guy. Flo murdered Buff Noob, and then someone murdered Flo. That's what happened. Anyways, time to get voting. Orange receipt votes for Fred. Tomato votes for Gentoki. Hitler votes for Skips. Bolo votes for Phony. Clone Gandhi votes for Theo. Cody votes for Wario. Fred votes for Nia. Gentoki votes for Jotaro. Giovanni votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Granny with the Gun votes for Magalore. Josuke votes for Gentoki. Jotaro votes for Phony. Bakugo votes for Josuke. Magalore votes for Phony. Luigi votes for the Yodeling Kid. Mephone 4 votes for Fred. Nia votes for the Deke logo.
One-eyed monster.
Phony votes for Josuke. Red votes for Theo. Rayla votes for Phony. Scott votes for Fred. Skips votes for Bolo. Deke logo votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. 1989 Broncos vote for Yodeling Kid. Lee votes for Mephone 4. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Jotaro. Yodeling Kid votes for Magalore. Theo votes for Bakugo. Wario votes for Bakugo. Phony has received the most votes. He is the killer and was executed. Probably did it for money. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at one point Monokuma just straight up went, "Y'all get money if you kill." So like, Flo murdered Buff Noob so that she could still run progressive, and then Phony murdered Flo. That's how it was. Anyways, no one will miss Phony. Chapter 9. A body is found. It's Jotaro. Okay, let's see. Orange receipt votes for Cody. Tomato votes for Mephone 4. Imaginary Hitler votes for Fred. Bolo votes for Walgreens receipt. Clone Gandhi votes for the Deke logo. Cody votes for the Deke logo. Fred votes for Scott. Gintoki votes for Imaginary Hitler. Giovanni votes for Nia. Granny with a Gun votes for Tomato. Josuke votes for Wu-Tang Clan. Bakugo votes for Mama Luigi. Magalore votes for Cody. Mama Luigi votes for Theo. Mifone 4 votes for Cody. Nia votes for Mama Luigi. Red votes for Bakugo. Rayla votes for Fred. Scott votes for Imaginary Hitler. Skips votes for Mama Luigi. The Deke logo votes for Yodeling Kid. 1989 Broncos vote for Bakugo. Lee votes for Giovanni. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Granny with a Gun. Yodeling Kid votes for Skips. Theo votes for Mama Luigi. And Wario votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. I can't tell who got the most votes. Mama Luigi received the most votes. The killer was found guilty and executed. Why is it that the characters I straight up don't like are still alive? For God's sake, someone just take a gun and shoot Hitler, for God's sake! And kill Red while you're at it. And maybe Bakugo. I mean, you don't have to, but maybe. I want the Deke logo and Nia to interact so that I can make a joke. A body finds Magalore and others finds Granny with a gun. Granny with a gun never killed someone. But someone killed her. Wait a second! Both the characters who were murdered have guns! And yet they were the ones who died. What? What? Oh yeah, time to do this. Walgreens receipt votes for Tomato. Tomato votes for Giovanni. Imaginary Hitler votes for Clone High Gandhi. And Bolo votes for Cody. Clone High Gandhi votes for Gintoki. Cody votes for Glee. Fred votes for Walgreens receipt. Gintoki votes for the Deke logo. Giovanni votes for Skips. Yosuke votes for Wario. Bakugo votes for Wario. Mifone 4 votes for Wu-Tang Clan. Nia votes for Bolo. Hey, Bolo is the second. I guess I can finally make the joke. Of course, Nia doesn't like Bolo. He's the stupid guy. The last stupid guy she met was the one with the
one-eyed monster.
Red votes for Gintoki. Rayla votes for Josuke. Scott votes for the Broncos. Skips votes for Walgreens receipt. Deke logo votes for Skips. 1989 Broncos vote for Gintoki. Glee votes for Scott. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Rayla. Yodeling Kid votes for Deke logo. Theo votes for Imaginary Hitler. And Wario votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Gintoki has been executed. I still don't know who he is. There are 23 people left. And the ones I hate are still alive. A body is found at Walgreens. Someone tore a piece of paper. Woo! Woo! Anyways, get voting. Tomato votes for Scott. Imaginary Hitler votes for Cody. Bolo votes for Rayla. Clone Gandhi votes for the Deke logo. Cody votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Fred votes for Mifone 4. Giovanni votes for Fred. Josuke votes for Clone Gandhi. Bakugo votes for Rayla. Mifone 4 votes for the 1989 Broncos. Nia votes for Cody. Red votes for Wario. Rayla votes for the 1989 Broncos. Scott votes for the Deke logo. Skips votes for Nia. Deke logo votes for Clone High Gandhi. 1989 Broncos vote for Cody. Glee votes for Josuke. Wu-Tang Clan votes for the 1989 Broncos. Yodeling Kid votes for Josuke. Theo votes for Giovanni. And Wario votes for Hitler. It's a tie between Cody and the Broncos. The Broncos were selected. They have all been killed. Their execution is having a bad season. For God's sake, if Hitler and Red are still alive by the end of this chapter, I am going to. I'm gonna blow up a vexing flame. Yes, I know he's dead. Shut up. A body is found. It skipped. I guess they weren't able to do it the skips way. Time for the class trial. There are 20 people left. Tomato votes for me from 4. Imaginary Hitler votes for Fred. Bolo votes for Giovanni. Clone High Gandhi votes for Cody. Cody votes for Clone High Gandhi. Fred votes for Scott. Giovanni votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Josuke votes for Clone High Gandhi. Bakugo votes for Imaginary Hitler. Mifune 4 votes for Scott. Nia votes for Bolo. Red votes for Josuke. Rayla votes for Cody. Scott votes for Mario. Deke votes for Rayla. Glee votes for Theo. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Rayla. Yodeling Kid votes for Fred. Theo votes for Glee. Wario votes for the Yodeling Kid. It's a tie for the most votes between Clone High Gandhi, Cody, Fred, Rayla, and Scott. Scott has been found guilty and died. There are 19 characters left. And 3 of them I hate. Bodies found. Mifune 4. Another body is found. It's Josuke. Tomato votes for Wario. Imaginary Hitler votes for Rayla. Bolo votes for Rayla. Clone High Gandhi votes for Theo. Cody votes for Bolo. Fred votes for Cody. Giovanni votes for Imaginary Hitler. Bakugo votes for Glee. Nia votes for Rayla. Red votes for Wario. Rayla votes for Red. Deke logo votes for Fred. Fred and Red. Lee votes for Bolo. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Rayla. Yodeling Kid votes for Nia. Theo votes for Giovanni and Wario votes for Tomato. And Rayla is dead. Dang it. I really liked her. Someone kill Red. He's right there. He's a fox. They ain't that hard to kill. Body is found, it's Yodeling Kid. Another one is found, it's Bakugo. You know what, sure. I guess I don't like Bakugo that much. Finally, someone I dislike is dead. Anyways, time for voting. Tomato votes for Cody. Imaginary Hitler votes for Tomato. Bolo votes for Theo. Clone High Gandhi votes for Glee. Cody votes for Wario. Fred votes for Giovanni. Giovanni votes for Tomato. Nia votes for Fred. Red votes for Glee. Deke Logo votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Glee votes for Wu-Tang Clan. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Red. Theo votes for Glee. Wario votes for Theo. Oh no, I'm scared. Glee has received the most votes. For a sec, I thought Theo was dead. Okay. Chapter 15. There are 13 characters still alive. A body is found, it's Clone High Gandhi, and another one's found, it's Nia. Tomato votes for Fred. Imaginary Hitler votes for Deke Logo. Bolo votes for Tomato. Cody votes for the Deke Logo. Fred votes for the Deke Logo. Giovanni votes for Wario. Red votes for Giovanni. Deke Logo votes for Hitler. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Fred. Theo votes for Cody. Wario votes for Red. The Deke Logo is dead. 10 characters left. You just need to kill 2 of them. These 2, and I will be happy with whoever else survives. A body's found. Yes! Yes! I don't even care who lives anymore. As long as those 2 are gone, I'm fine. Tomato votes for Wario. Bolo votes for Tomato. Cody votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Fred votes for the Wu-Tang Clan. Giovanni votes for Fred. Wu-Tang Clan votes for Theo. Giovanni votes for Theo. Theo votes for Giovanni. Wario votes for Theo. Who's dead? It's a tie between the Wu-Tang Clan and Theo. Theo is selected and is killed. No! Never mind. I hate all of this. Okay. A body is found. It's Tomato. Tomato. Time to find out who the killer is. Bolo votes for Wario. Cody votes for Wario. Fred votes for Wario. Giovanni votes for Wario. The Wu-Tang Clan votes for Wario. Wario votes for Cody. These guys showed no mercy. Wario has died. And that means that the Bolo, Cody, Fred, Giovanni, and the Wu-Tang Clan have survived. Not the bunch I would have picked, but hey, at least Red and Hitler are dead. Oh yeah, the first one dead was Kirishima because he's a poopy head. Joey's a psychopath. I can't believe he died that early and you were killed by a computer, you loser. I was the 12th person killed. Thanks for watching, everyone, and bye.